Sure.
Hi, everyone. Odin here with the Real Estate Joint Venture Club. And I've got Kevin Engel here. And I met Kevin a while back, actually. I saw you doing a presentation on another real estate event, and I really kind of was taken aback with your experience. And then I figured our membership needed to know more about you, Kevin. And so you're a doctor, right?
That's my background. Optometrist. It's my side gig now, Odin. That's my side gig.
Well, that's perfect. People want to hear that. People want to hear that you're living the dream. I mean, I've been living the dream for a long time now. Since 2007, I've been involved in real estate. Actually, 2006, I purchased my first property. Yeah. And I mean, people want to see that this is a real reality and that you do need a side gig. And so I want to kind of get into our interview, because this is an interview style. I just want to know, how did you get started in real estate and what brought you into this specific real estate niche that you're involved in? And I know what niche you're involved in, but I'd like you to kind of let everybody know what niche you're involved in. So how did you get started in real estate and how did you pick your niche?
Well, I guess for myself, it was the reason I'm in real estate, period, is because I had a cancer scare 12 years ago.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I don't know if I told you that or not.
No, I didn't know.
That lit me up. You know what I mean? Because I realized if I didn't work as a doctor, I didn't get paid.
Right.
And I had 3 kids and a wife. And I just thought, okay, well, if I can't work, my wife's a doctor. She'll work for me, right? It's funny how just things happen in your life. We had a good friend who's a doctor in Red Deer. He was sick with cancer around that same time.
Jeez.
And his wife said, I can't work right now. They had 3 kids the same ages as ours, 7, 9, and 11. And I realized my idea of living off my wife if I got sick wasn't a very good idea. It makes sense.
Yeah.
And so again, I was looking for a way to make money if I got sick. And it's funny how when you connect with people and you share your story, how just things start to happen. And a friend said, I don't know, I read this book. It's kind of cool. It's called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I've got one rental house. He doesn't even remember giving me that book. His name is Tim. He's a friend of mine. I said, I thank him every time I see him, because that changed everything and opened my mind to passive income and real estate investing. So that's kind of that's where I'm in. I guess my niche is fourplexes. Okay. I'm a fourplex guy in central Alberta.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because I would say it's my mentors. Because I said, my goal, I want $10,000 a month in passive income. I want that in 5 years. And one of my mentors said, okay, Kevin, that's easy. Let's do it. And he just showed me the path. And
5 years is a very realistic time frame to be able to do that. Did you accomplish that goal?
No.
Not yet.
It took 6.
Took 6.
Okay. The next 10,000 came faster, if that makes sense. And the next 10,000 is coming faster yet. So
of course.
I don't know. It's great.
So what are some of the lessons you learned along the way to help you grow your real estate business? And it's really important because I mean, I didn't know about your background, and congratulations, by the way, on overcoming that and becoming stronger than ever. But individuals also want to know the reality of growing a business like yours within 6 years and the lessons that you learned and what you should and shouldn't do. Maybe if you can touch on that a little bit.
Well, I live in Alberta, and if any of your any of your listeners are from Alberta, and maybe you guys in BC know full well that it's very cyclical in Alberta. Okay. And one thing I learned from the start was you've got to be mindful of what the dip looks like in Alberta. Because if you can buy a property that will survive a downturn, then that's a good property.
So what you're saying is, when you're looking at a property, ensure that you're inspecting it so that you can survive a downturn.
Well, I'd say inspecting it. I would say doing your due diligence on it as far as your financial due diligence.
Yeah.
Meaning, I remember what the rents were like in 2017. I think I don't know, we're still haven't had significant increases since then.
Nope.
But I wasn't buying in Alberta in 2013 and 14, just because fourplexes at that time were $650 out there, out here at that time. And guys were buying like crazy because, again, they were getting $1,200 a corner for rent. So it's still cash flowed, right? But I remember rents of $850 or $750 a month in 2010 when I started buying real estate. So I was like, I was kind of pulling back a little bit. And then the downturn, they said, it's never going to end, right? I don't know, this next one's great. It's never going to end. Well, we had the downturn, and
A lot of people got caught up in that downturn.
yeah. Well, it's interesting. I joined the real estate investment network in Alberta in 2010.
Mm-hmm.
So that was instilled in me very, I don't know, that took that to heart, because there was guys in the room that sat beside me that had lost everything in 2009.
Yep. I know some of those people too. Yeah.
I'm sure you do. Like, it's so for me, I was even, I remember trembling buying my first property because I knew there was some risk, but I realized I was buying in the trough. And again, we were just starting that upward trend in 2010. You know, there's green shoots in the economy, and what I'm excited about in Alberta, there's some green shoots in the economy here again.
There are opportunities, and I think that Alberta is kind of gonna step up to that next level again. So right now you're at the bottom. A great opportunity in Alberta. That's what I think. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm seeing. How do you feel about that?
Well, we bought 34 more doors in the last 2 years, and again with that joint venture we're looking at again with you, Odin, is like another 44 doors there in 2021. So that'd be a good addition. I see the big guys in Alberta, or the big people in real estate period, are now focused on Alberta right now for some reason.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're getting,
I don't know why.
All the signs are that the market's going to continue to go. I mean, oil is at $100 a barrel right now, approximately. And there's a lot of good things that are happening in the Alberta economy. Hopefully they're turning it around, and they don't have many more huge downturns like they had, because I have real estate over there as well. And it really, it gave me a little bit of a kick.
Well, everyone got me kicking. Well, let me say this in Alberta, some days in real estate, you're going to feel like a genius. Other days you're going to feel like an idiot. Not kidding, but not really, if you know what I mean. But
yeah, well, I mean, you know, the fundamentals you're talking about are across the country. You know, it's interesting about inflation now, though. With inflation, all your properties are just going to do better. So it's pretty cool. So what's the typical project in your portfolio? What does it look like?
what does it look like?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would say when I started, I was again focused on fourplexes because I was looking for, well, the reason I knew to focus on fourplexes in Alberta is because one paid off here will pay the average investor $2,500 a month passively after it's paid off.
Wow.
After it's completely paid off. So I
Yeah.
figured, I need 4 of them.
And you help.
$550 each. Okay, I don't have $2 million to dump into it, but I can get started.
Yeah.
And
And you got,
Kevin, buy 6 or 7 fourplexes, sell a couple off in 5 years, you know, pay off the rest.
and you just said you bought 34 more doors. That's just incredible. That's incredible. Now, tell me about your first deal. Did you go with a joint venture partner, or did you do that with yourself, by yourself?
Well, I would say I was a bit old school. And and if you're a starting investor, I believe if you're not in it yourself, it's hard to attract capital. I know there's guys that have done that. I know there's amazing joint venture Jedi, so to speak, that are, well, I guess you have to be creative if you don't have any capital.
Mm-hmm.
But I had a little bit of a nest egg, because it's funny, I just had sold a commercial building that I'd owned for about 6 years.
Oh, wow.
And oh my God, it had doubled in value in 6 years. And it was like, okay, real estate's pretty cool. Where I moved my practice, is where my practice was. I moved my practice to a new location. I made him an offer. He said it wasn't interested, because he owned the entire block. I don't know, he wasn't interested in selling one building. And it was the ideal location. So I had some capital to invest in real estate somewhere. And I don't know, it was.
So your business got you real estate. And then what you did is you used that in order to spur you into your dream of passive income. That's a great story. What's your favorite project that you've done so far?
I would say my last one.
Tell us about it. Tell us about it.
Well, it was an investor in Alberta that had developed a property. Guess when he finished his development? April of 2008.
Oh, wow. Oh.
When did he start? In 2007. He bought the property. It was a house in 2006 that he bought.
Okay.
He knocked the house down. he built a beautiful townhouse sixplex on it. And then guess what happened? There was a
Well, the
major
financial.
economic downturn, and they tried to hold, and they held on to it for quite a while. But it was, a lot of it was, 4 of them were vacant.
Mhm.
It was only built in 2008, so it's a relatively new property, but needed some renovations. We bought it, renovated it, refinanced it 4 months after I bought it. And I bought it for a little over 800, and I refinanced it for almost 1.2 million 4 months later.
Wow.
So
Okay.
that was
Wow.
quick burn. Quick
So,
burn. That was like
so you got all your money back essentially, and you can go and you can buy more. How many units did you get on that one again?
6 3-bedroom townhouses.
Six
So
3-bedroom townhouses. Wow.
how much
Were
are they
they
worth in BC? Okay.
townhouses right now are going for
Oh,
between 850, if you can find one for that much, for up to locally here they're going for about 1.2.
so okay, if I have a little bit of appreciation, I bought them for 137 a piece, right?
Wow, that's a great price.
I
Oh,
know. So again, I do know there's some uplift. There was immediate uplift, right? Just getting
yeah,
one of them
no money
had,
down deal.
oh, it was like, oh my gosh, it was like we weren't really looking for more real estate.
Yeah.
I'm actually investing capital now into private lending as well for more. I needed more cash flow to retire from a, well, I haven't fully retired from optometry. I still like an active income in case another real estate deal comes along.
Yes, of
So
course.
it's more easily to, qualify for mortgages.
100%. Hey, that's the wisdom that people don't understand. They think that they're going to quit their job and they're going to live the dream and they're going to make lots of money in real estate in their first year, second year, third year, fourth year. And you just said a little bit of a pearl of wisdom that people really need to understand.
Yeah.
You are using your profession as your side gig to ensure that you can keep on getting financing and keep on making a little bit of money, just to help you out and further your portfolio along. People, that's lost on people. So I think it's important that we really highlight that today.
Well, let me say this. I know some people want out of what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they hate what they're doing. I was talking to a police officer in Ontario recently, and she said, I'm just done. Like, I can't do this for another 8 years to retire on her full pension. So she was looking for something outside of what she was doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
For me, I'm fortunate. I found something I love to do and I make good money at it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, number one, I don't have a pension. Okay, I'm self-employed. And I
Yes.
love the fact that I am self-employed. Like, there's not the politics of the hospital I have to deal with. Although I do work for my wife, I don't know, it's a little tricky, right? But,
Hey, I understand how that feels.
okay.
Get it.
Okay. My wife and I have practiced together for 21 years,
Oh,
and
wow. Congrats.
we still love each other, which is fantastic.
Well,
And
yeah.
she's taken care of more the active income, like that optometry, and I've taken care of more the passive income streams that we've developed over time.
Well, clearly she's supporting that. So how does running a real estate business impact your family and your social life? Talking about family and social life, how has running the real estate business affected that? I mean, like when I was doing it, I was doing a lot of my own management. And I'm going to suggest to everyone here, don't do that. That was my mistake.
Okay.
You got to make sure that when you're doing your diligence that there's enough there to always pay for property manager. But how's running the business impacted your family and social life?
I would say from day one, I did manage one property myself. I sold that after 6 years because I had to self-manage it. It was in a smaller town outside of my target area.
That's a lesson right there for everybody. You'll
Oh my God.
eventually get tired of running it yourself.
Oh, well, absolutely. And you're right. My mentors, I say I'm not that smart. I'm only a doctor. So you know what I mean?
Oh my
And
goodness.
I don't say that to be self-deprecating, meaning more, I will do what people that are successful in real estate will do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm smart enough to be coachable, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know.
That's actually a really important statement. And I believe that most professionals understand the value of putting the ego aside and saying, hey, you know better. Can you please show
Not
me?
always.
Wow.
No, I'm
That's a good point
serious
too.
though. Some people think they're smart.
Yeah.
And that's when they get into trouble because they think they can figure out the system that's kind of already in place.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So does running a real estate business impact your family and social life in a positive way then, the way that you manage it and the way you listen to all? So essentially you have a better life now running.
Well, I'm more free now.
Yeah.
But we sold our practice this year. That's why I say optometry still is my side gig officially as of this year, because we sold our practice in March of last year.
Congratulations.
And
that's huge.
I don't think it really sank in until we took a holiday together. It was only a short trip to Banff and Jasper, with everything that's going on. But we had the top down of the car. It was fantastic, right? But it was just my wife, it was about halfway through a trip. And she said, you know what, Kevin, I don't think I've thought, and we do love our staff. We really want to take care of them. But while we were gone, we knew there were managers in place to take care of our staff.
Mm-hmm.
We knew if there was a flood, guess what? There would be somebody in there to take care of it. We don't have to worry about that asset anymore. Although we're still actively involved and we're partners in the business, it's a totally different scenario. She said, I feel free, Kevin.
So moving from the business ideas of feeling free and knowing that it's taken care of, do you have that same feeling with your real estate portfolio? Do you feel that you don't really have to think too much about it? If something were to happen, that your property managers would just get on top of it, make sure it's fixed, and then let you know that it's been done. So oh, wow. So your mind is at free. Is it kind of like that you're at right now?
Well, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
But if anyone tells you real estate is passive income, I think they might be lying to you.
And that is the greatest truth of the day.
I'm sorry. If you're going to think that real estate is easy.
Oh, the truth comes out with you, Dr. Kevin.
I don't know. I'm going to tell you as it is, if that makes sense. And I'm passionate about it. I would do it again in a second.
You're right. It's not a passive thing. You do have to actually get involved, be involved in the decision-making process. There's a lot of learning going on. And I'm happy that you told the truth to the listeners here. I think that there's a lot of misconceptions about what real estate is. They're sold the raw. And then what I mean by that is they're then sold a $30,000 coaching program, which only 1% of people actually succeed at. So, I mean, that's why groups like ours exist, because we want you to know real estate first and then go out and do deals with us. And, that's that's our take on it. Next question I have here is, what philosophies do you have to help you with a work-life balance?
What philosophies? Well, that goes back to management. I've always bought properties that will pay for management, still make me money at the end of every day, even in a downturn. And
do you actually take money out of your projects, or are you taking your money and just throwing that into the other mortgages to pay them down quicker?
Well, what I find is that when I do that, I can get into hot water fairly quickly.
I see.
Because I know there was guys in Alberta that bought properties in 2003. They refinanced in 2008. Guess what? In 2009, they did not cash flow. And there was capital appreciation. They unlocked a lot of capital. But I'm a little more conservative when it comes to that because of those the ups and downs here.
So you basically take your percentage and you bank it for necessary maintenance or so on. Is there a percentage that you save, or do you just put it all to the side?
Well, I don't spend my real estate money really.
Perfect advice for everyone.
Well, I'm still working actively. I'm still qualifying for mortgages.
Of course.
I want to make sure my properties take care of themselves, because there's maintenance times where I found during economic downturns, that's when you need to do the most renovations.
Yep.
But that's when the renovations are also the most affordable. But that's when you feel like an idiot, because there were times where I was spending more money on just short-term. I was investing. They weren't negatively cash flowing. I was investing in renovating a property, but really I was spending my cash flow on a renovation project. Does that make sense?
It does. I mean, a perfect story is I bought a number of properties across Canada, and one of my JV partners who was totally in charge came to me and says, "Hey, Odin, I have a check here for $7,500 for you." I'm like, right on. I said, how much do you have in the kitty? He goes, "What do you mean the kitty?" I said, "Well, there's going to be an emergency that happens. There's going to be a roof. There's going to be a boiler. There's going to be heater. There's going to be something that goes wrong." I said, "How much do you have in your kitty?" And he goes, "I have nothing in my kitty." I said, oh, well, don't pay me. I don't want any of the money.
Oh,
And
yes.
3 months later, the boiler went.
Yeah.
And guess what it cost?
Do you know
About
what I call
$5,000.
$5,000? Do you know what I call my staying power fund?
What is it?
Sleeping well fund. Because
Yeah, good one.
they're wise. Like, I mean, in 2017, I remember this experience. We had spent 30,000 of reserve capital at that time because we were actively renovating properties in 2017. Because if we didn't, it's not like we got a better rent, we just didn't get a tenant.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it was
Yes,
like,
I do.
that's one of those oh shit moments. I'm sorry. Is it okay if I swear a
Yeah.
little bit?
People need to see the real story here, and they have to understand that real estate is one of those things that it's a business like any other business. And I remember getting into it not knowing anything about real estate. When somebody told me, Odin, you can do real estate without going and touching it, I was like, as if, and then I started doing that. So you don't know until you see someone explain it in a way or tell you the real truth of the matter. So you can say what you need to say for sure. So
thank you. I appreciate that.
yeah.
I'll refrain. You know what I mean? Like,
it's all
we are
good.
recording this, I believe. So I don't
Well,
as I
hopefully
said,
people reach out to you on LinkedIn and on Facebook and whatever else and connect with you and bring amazing deals to you. That's kind of what this is about, right? I'd love for you to get business out of it. That would be great. But if you could do it all over again, what would you do differently?
I would say I would work harder at matching a real estate project to a joint venture partner and what their goals are.
Interesting. Go a little bit further in that. Just a couple moments.
I would say it's managing their expectations, or I just had some experience with some joint venture partners who didn't get understand the long-term nature of real estate.
Yeah, well, you really only make money within 20 years. You have to have a 20
money. Absolutely.
You have to have a 20-year plan to do real estate. If you don't have a 20-year plan, don't even get involved.
But here's the deal. We bought a beautiful suited house in Red Deer with 2 detached garages. So imagine this: 3 bedrooms up, 3 bedrooms down, 2 single detached. So 4 streams of income from one rental property.
Wow. Okay.
It was built around 2006. We bought it in 2017. Bought it in the downturn, right? There were some green shoots in the economy. Things are moving. We didn't realize it was going to be this long. And then, of course, COVID hit on top of it. But during COVID, they go, we want our money back out. We haven't made any money yet. And it was like,
just closing my eyes and taking a breath, because I understand that completely.
Well, we're like 3 or 4, what was it, like 3 years in on a deal on a butte, and it was cash flowing. Well, not amazingly. Like, I'll give you that. There was hey, we lost a hot water tank, and there was and it wasn't drained properly. So there's a bit of water damage below. So it's like, oh, well, these things happen. But again, it's just, they didn't really understand, we're not making any money. Well, there's equity pay down on the mortgage. Yes, there wasn't a lot of capital appreciation yet. So if we sold it, we'd sell it for a loss. Make sense? But there was so much, you know what? To save sanity, because I love the property, I want to keep it in my portfolio, I just paid them out, because during a time when my clinic was closed. So was that easy? That was not easy.
You probably got a better deal though for doing that, right?
Well, they say, I gave you a 3-year interest-free loan. Well, had they stayed, we're still making money. And I believe now, over the next 3 to 5 years, we're gonna make some good money off that property.
You got to think about it. Somebody else is paying off your mortgage. And even if you make 0, that means within the life of the mortgage for your children, you're going to have a huge asset that's paid off. That's how you have to think about real estate. It's not a short game flip, go become a real estate agent if you want that.
Well, but I don't want to be a real estate agent.
Oh no, I'm saying I don't either. No. I'm in it for the 20 years.
Well, if you want an active income from real estate, become a real estate agent. But oh my God, I would not want
No.
In fact, you know what I don't do, Odin? I will not do anything. If I'm doing anything to make money now, there's got to be some leveraged income. There's got to be some residual income attached to it. Yep. Whether it's real estate or other business, or I do other businesses too, but there's got to be that residual income attached. Otherwise, if you're not going to pay me forever, I'm not going to work my butt off for you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, you want,
Kidding.
yeah, but it's the truth. You're in a position right now where people are approaching you and you need to be able to cherry pick the absolute best deals for your portfolio. It's just the way it is. I mean, you want to be, you're here for your children at this point. You're growing wealth for your children. They will.
No, this is for me, man. No, I'm kidding. I don't
Just,
want to make my kids rich. No, no.
they already are with it regardless. So, think of a mentor's wise words. Can you please share a quote or something that really stuck in your mind?
I'm pretty sure it was Thomas Buyer. For those of you who don't know, Thomas Buyer is a real estate investor. I like Thomas because he always says, I'm always a buyer, never a seller, because of his last name, right? But Thomas has always said, you buy real estate and wait. You don't wait to buy real estate.
Yeah.
So I waited until I was 39, 40 to buy my first real estate property, at least my first rental property that actually was an asset that made me money, if it makes sense.
Yes.
I had a house and a cottage and my boat was an asset, right? Oh God, I'm kidding. It's not, right?
No, you certainly are. You are kidding for sure.
Oh, I know.
It's a doodad, let's call it.
Yeah, major doodad.
That's hilarious. Right. And so the one last question, because I know you got to get going for your next appointment. Is there a particular mantra, a quote, or philosophy that you go by and that you follow that has significantly impacted your life, and that it's basically words of wisdom for everyone listening?
Well, I would say in 2016, I read a book that just changed everything for me, because at that time in 2016, I had 30 properties. Mm-hmm. We were doing really well. I felt like a rock star in some ways. But I read, it was The Secret, what was it? Secrets of the Millionaire Mind.
Oh, yeah, by Harv Eker.
Harv Eker, yeah.
Yeah.
It took me a moment. I had a bit of a brain cramp for a moment there, but
I have a signed copy downstairs from him.
I read the book and I realized that, again, I'm going to use a name that everyone's going to freak out, but if Donald, at this time, it was before he became president, it was if Donald Trump had my net worth, and love or hate him, whatever, we know he's successful in real estate. If he had my net worth, he would feel broke. And I realized I was playing too small.
Oh, interesting. Wow.
So I had 30 doors at that time, 30, I was a handful, quite a few properties, but it was just a matter of realizing that, I'm playing, if I really want to change my life dramatically,
step it up.
It's stepping it up.
And you actually have done that, and you've doubled your
portfolio. Went from 30 to almost 80 doors now. And
you're almost breaking 100 pretty quick if you are.
Yeah, if that deal goes through, that's we're expecting that one to go through. So,
wow.
But it's a matter of now, it's impacted my life in such a way that I can step back a little bit. We don't have to have that ownership, because in ownership you do make a little more, but there's a whole, oh my God, the headaches are like, holy crap. But you know what my accountant said at the end of the day? We built that real estate, or that asset with an optometry, right? We, having sold the asset, still working part-time, I'm actually making more money because we're investing those into private mortgages, which is within the realm of real estate and just another stream of income for us now.
Private, when I worked at the bank, so I used to work at RBC, and I was actually voted the best in BC at RBC. There's two things that really crossed. The first time I saw $1 million bank account, I said, what in the world? How did you get $1 million? Because it was a pure $1 million. He goes, well, I just need to let you know something. He goes, as soon as you can, get involved in real estate. I hadn't been involved in real estate then at that point. And so I was like, okay, I learn real estate, right? And then the second thing I learned from a colleague of mine when I worked at the bank is don't do what the bank does, or don't do what the bank tells you to do. Do what the bank does. And what does the bank do? The bank never owns the real estate and always has the mortgage.
Yeah.
It makes somebody else responsible for making that payment on a monthly basis.
Yeah.
So that is the next evolution in real estate investing for many, many people. And I'd say that a lot of the colleagues, people I have around me, they're in that arena of private mortgages, and they're doing very well for themselves, and they have criteria. And then what happens is when someone like me understands the criteria, we can help you do that kind of thing. Kevin, it has been an absolute pleasure having you today. Thank you so much on behalf of all of us at the Real Estate JV Club. And how can we get a hold of you? Can we reach out to you on LinkedIn?
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn, Kevin Engel, just search me, you know what I mean? Like,
and your face is there.
Text me, I give even my patients my cell number because I provide after hours care. So
we'll just let them connect with you.
Talk real estate, have them call me, you know what I mean? Like, I just love to connect with people and hear their stories too.
It's true. That's how I connected with you. I actually saw you at an event. I reached out to you and I said, hey, do you want to talk real estate? And you're like, yeah, for sure. Let's do it. And here we are.
But yeah, if they want, my cell phone's 403-506-9839. And just text me. Like I'm an open book. You know what I mean? Like, I do tell things as it is. I may use the S word every once in a while. No, I'm kidding, but not really. Hey, I'm real with people, and it's been an amazing journey. And as I said, I do it all over again in a heartbeat. Not because it was easy, just because it's been worth it.
So the S word that I'm going to bring up right now is the Success Magazine behind you with Grant Cardone. And you wrote a book, haven't you?
Well, Bounce Back to Success with one of my mentors, Bounce Back to Success. It's funny because I met Brian Tracy through real estate, right? He said, I'm writing a book in 2020, Kevin, about overcoming obstacles. And he heard my story about cancer, and he said, Kevin, I want you to write a chapter.
Beautiful.
And I was like honored. So yeah.
I never told you last year. You have to ask me next time we chat, ask me about how I picked up Brian Tracy from the airport. I got to spend time with him and I drove him around. We took a private plane to Nanaimo together. I got to experience his full event. I got to come back with him and drive him back to the airport and drop him off. And I got myself a nice picture and a signed ticket with him.
We need to talk then. Yeah, I know.
It was great. It was
my book launch was supposed to be live with him, but of course of COVID, there was no private book launch and stuff, right? With Brian, but it's okay. I did get to talk with him virtually and
send me the link to your book, and I can send it out on the email to everybody, and they can check your book out.
For sure.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Thanks, Kevin. Thanks, everyone. Talk to you again soon.
Bye.
Okay, bye.